My dear students, welcome back to Plus 2 Biology. Today's topic is Biodiversity from the chapter Biodiversity and Conservation. You are familiar about what is biodiversity. You have learned already. The biodiversity refers to the diversity, the variability among biological organisms. Okay, how many varieties of biological organisms are present? So, as you know earlier, biodiversity simply refers to the diversity among biological organisms. In all levels of biological organization, the variability, we speak as biodiversity. You know, the term was first coined by Edward Wilson. So, understand, the term biodiversity was popularized by Edward Wilson. Okay, there are mainly three levels of diversity we can speak. Okay, see here is listed out: genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecosystem diversity. So, in general, biodiversity refers to the diversity in all levels of biological organization. It can be at species level, genus level, okay, any taxa level. Okay, whereas when we consider biodiversity in detail, we can say there are three major levels of biodiversity. The first one is genetic diversity, then species, then ecosystem diversity. What is meant by genetic diversity? The diversity at the genetic level. That means the diversity of different varieties. I mean, the organisms of the same species have number of varieties. You know, mango, Mangifera indica. We have many varieties of mango. Similarly, rice. We have number of varieties of rice. Okay, all this represent genetic level diversity. That means diversity of same species as different variants. Okay, the diversity at the genetic level. Okay, as an example in your textbook it is given Rauwolfia vomitoria. It's a medicinal plant and seed consists of an alkaloid rhizospin. Okay, and many varieties of Rauwolfia vomitoria, this particular plant species, are present. How do they differ? Okay, one variety of Rauwolfia vomitoria may be having higher content of the rhizospin, other may be having less content, and one may be having a higher potential for this alkaloid. Like that means there are different varieties of Rauwolfia vomitoria with difference in their potential and concentration of rhizospin. Okay, similarly, you know, mango, you may be very well familiar. How many different types of mangoes are available in the market? All of them belong to the species Mangifera indica, but the varieties are different. Okay, they are genetic variants. The variety at the genetic level is called genetic diversity. Then what is the next type? Species diversity means the variety at the species level. How many different species are there? How many different types of species are there? Okay, human beings, the entire human beings represent one species, Homo sapiens. All coconuts represent Cocos nucifera. Like that, how many different species are there? That is what is species diversity. Diversity at the species level. Compared to the Eastern Ghats region, Western Ghats have higher species diversity of amphibians and angiosperms. That means there are more different types of species in Western Ghats compared to Eastern Ghats. Number of different types of species, not the variants, the type of species, a specific level. Okay, this one genetic level diversity, this one species level diversity. Okay, then what is meant by ecosystem diversity, or we can say the community diversity? What is it? Yeah, it's nothing but the different types of ecosystem. It is a diversity at the ecosystem level. That means how many different types of ecosystems are present. In India, you know, there are almost all types of ecosystems like forest, rainforest, okay, deserts, estuaries, mangroves, okay, like all types of tundras. The diversity in ecosystem or community level it is called ecosystem diversity. And altogether, all sort of diversity we can categorize under biodiversity. Anyway, biodiversity simply refers to the different types of species or organisms. Okay, then all these levels, not only the genetic variants, different species, different ecosystem, there are different levels of biodiversity. Okay, anyway, what is our biodiversity? Species diversity in the world. What idea you have? How many different species are there in the world, on the earth? Okay, there is an approximate number. See, IUCN in 2004 has listed out and announced that the global species diversity is 1.5 million. According to IUCN 2004, the species diversity on the earth is slightly larger than 1.5 million. And they also estimated that a large number of species have to be discovered. Okay, to be discovered. Anyway, Robert May, a sociobiologist, Robert May and his people, his co-workers, estimated that the global species diversity is about 7 million. Okay, according to Robert May and his colleagues, the global species diversity is what? 7 million. Okay, then whenever we consider or whenever we speak about the diversity, just keep in mind, among the animal world, among the animals, the most common species is insect group. Okay, the most common among animals is what? Insect. That means 70% of the animals represent the insects. Okay, then anyway, and very important thing, in general, when we speak in general, the fungi group represents more than the sum total of fishes, amphibians, reptiles and mammals. Okay, and all fungi in the world is a very high group. Okay, it is more than the sum total of fishes, amphibians, reptiles and mammals. Can you imagine the fungi, the small fungal groups are more in species. Okay, so this is what is general idea. Anyway, we can discuss one by one about the invertebrates, vertebrates and the plant groups. When we discuss it separately, among invertebrates, insects represents the main group. Okay, then the other invertebrates like mollusks, crustaceans and other invertebrates come this way. I mean, the major group is insect, the second major group is mollusk. You know that arthropod is the largest phylum, mollusca is the second largest phylum, you know that. Okay, the insects, then mollusca, then other arthropods like crustaceans, then other invertebrates like coelenterata, that all comes. Okay, all porifera, coelenterata, like all platyhelminthes, all comes here. And when we speak about the invertebrates, the largest group is insect, second largest mollusca, and all others together form this large group. Okay. Anyway, crustaceans is the next largest. Then when we consider about the vertebrates, among vertebrates the major group is fishes. Okay, about 50% is represented by fishes, chondrichthyes and osteichthyes, and amphibians, mammals almost come in the same number of species. Birds come, after fishes, birds are the next highest group, then reptiles, then mammals and amphibians. Okay, this is about the vertebrates distribution pie chart. Fishes represent the 50% of the vertebrates, then birds, then reptiles, amphibians and mammals. Okay, almost the same, amphibians and mammals come. So when we discuss about the plants separately, and you have learned fungi is fungi is another kingdom. Still we are grouping fungi along with this. Okay, fungi belong to another kingdom. Still we are grouping fungi along with this. Fungi and angiosperms make the major group. The other groups are very small groups. This represents, second largest represents the algae. Okay, these two equal, somewhat equal number. Then algae, then bryophytes, mosses, then ferns and lichens. You can just see the pie chart and identify the species diversity of these organisms. So keep in mind the biodiversity of invertebrates when we speak, the insects, role of insects, the biodiversity of vertebrates when we speak, fish is the dominating group, and among the plants, angiospermae, and the same way there is fungi. Okay, and in general when we speak, among all organisms, okay, among the animals, okay, insects represents about 70% and sum total of fungi will be more than the sum total of what? Fishes, amphibians, okay, mammals and reptiles. When we speak about our country, India is contributing just 2.4% land area for the world's land area. That means our land area is just 2.4%. Whereas the diversity what we contribute is a higher number, that is 8.1%. So India is considered as one among the 12 mega diversity centers in the world. Okay, one among the 12 mega diversity countries is India. Okay, so just keep in mind some data. Anyway, come to the next session, that is about the biodiversity patterns. What type of patterns the biodiversity follow? Is there a regular pattern of increase? What causes this increase? Okay, you know where is diversity maximum? When we compare the tropical region, polar region, diversity is maximum at the tropics, you know that. Okay, and we can first discuss the diversity along the latitude and altitude and along area. Okay, explored area. So when we speak the biodiversity patterns under latitudinal gradients, how do they differ? The pattern, biodiversity, how does it differ along the latitude? Okay, when we speak about the latitude, the equator region, okay, the tropics near the equator, 23.5 degree north and, okay, you know that in this region, okay, near the equator, the tropics enjoy maximum biodiversity. From tropics to the poles, both sides, okay, from tropics to the poles, tropic region, temperate region, polar region. From tropic region to the poles, when we move, the biodiversity decreases. So understand, the biodiversity decreases when we move from the tropics to the poles. From tropics to the poles, when we move, the biodiversity decreases. Okay. From the tropic to the poles, when we move, there is the biodiversity decreasing. Okay, so the maximum diversity is seen in the tropics. What may be the reason for that? Why tropics enjoy large number of species compared to the polar regions? One of the main reasons, the climate. Direct availability of sunlight, more production. Productivity is more, plant productivity is more. It supports more fauna and other organisms. So that means one of the main reasons why tropics enjoy high diversity is what? High availability of enough sunlight and higher productivity. Second major reason is, in order to form new species, there should be a steady climate. Okay, and in the tropics, the climatic factors are more or less steady. Whereas in temperate region, polar regions and all, there will be frequent glaciation. Okay, this type of phenomena in the past made temperate and tropic regions less diverse. The tropics are unchanged. The tropics remain unchanged for many years, millions of years. So it happened so many species formation, speciation. It made the tropics to enjoy the high diversity. Okay, the tropics climate, the tropics solar light availability. Okay, then and also the disturbances like glaciations were less negligible in the tropics. Okay, so we can surely say the climates are less seasonal and it remained more or less steady for a long period of time. Okay, so that made the tropics more species rich. Okay, then that's what we are discussing. Species diversity decreases from the equator to the poles. Okay, as an example, here is given a study on the birds diversity. See, near equator place, Colombia. A place near the equator, Colombia, consists of about 1,400 species of birds. Whereas New York, 41 degree north, that is just inhabiting, okay, 105 species of birds. Whereas Greenland, 71 degree north, is having only 56 species of birds. That means it's gone on decreasing from the equator to the polar region. Okay. Then see, which is the largest, which is known as the lungs of the planet, the largest diversity center of the earth. The biodiversity center, the largest biodiversity center on the earth is Amazonian rainforest in South America. Okay, the Amazonian rainforest in South America is harboring this many different groups of organisms. Around 1,25,000 species of invertebrates, not the number, different types of species. 1,25,000 species of invertebrates, 40,000 species of plants, 3,000 species of fishes, 1,300 species of birds, 427 species of mammals, 427 species of amphibians, 378 species of reptiles like. It enjoys the greatest biodiversity on the earth. Okay? Then the same way we can see, I mean, along the latitude and along the altitude when we speak, the same way we can see the biodiversity decreases from plain to polar region and the mountain top. Okay? From plains to the top, what we can say, biodiversity decreases. In the plain only we see the rainforest, and the next will be desert, grasslands, deciduous forest, coniferous forest, tundra, snow falling area, like snow deposited area. I mean, the mountain top will be having less diversity compared to the plain region. So, along the altitude also the biodiversity decreases. Okay? So, latitudinal and altitudinal variance, I think it's clear that this is a pattern for Lord. I mean, this we can say is a pattern. The biodiversity decreases along the altitude and latitude. From equator to poles, from plain to top, it decreases. Okay, that's about the latitudinal gradients. And the next feature, species area relationship. Very simple fact, very simple concept to understand. And Alexander von Humboldt was an ecologist who travelled and conducted experiments at many places on species diversity, has concluded that the species diversity increases with increasing explored area. When we study more area, more number of species we get. Okay, the species diversity increases with what? Increase in explored area. Okay, and Alexander wrote according to Humboldt. And when we consider typically a particular species, its diversity along the explored area, and this increases up to a limit. Okay, species richness increases with increased explored area up to a limit. So it gives a rectangular hyperbola according to Alexander von Humboldt. That is why this graph is like this. There is a steady state coming. Okay, the species richness increases with area, okay, up to a limit. And this is, he has given the definition, species richness is equal to Ca raised to Z. Okay, Ca raised to Z, where S is what? Species richness, C is the y-intercept, okay, the y-intercept value, A is the area, Z is the slope of the line, and Z is the slope. That means tan theta. You are familiar with slope. It is tan theta. Change in y-axis by change in x-axis. You have no any calculation with this. Anyway, just understand the slope was the tan theta value. Change in y-axis by change in x-axis. So, according to Alexander von Humboldt, species area relationship is a rectangular hyperbola, and the equation is S is equal to Ca raised to Z, where S is the species diversity or species richness, then C is the y-intercept value, then A is the area explored, and Z is the slope of the line, the tan theta value. Okay, so when we take the log scale, the graph will be what? A straight line. Okay, that equation can be log S is equal to log C plus Z log A. You know the log x square, log e raised to x. Okay. So the same way, it's giving a straight line on logarithmic scale. Its equation is log S is equal to log C plus Z log A. Okay, so just study this two equations. And it's a rectangular hyperbola. The species area relationship is on log scale is a straight line, and separate equations. S is equal to C A raised to Z. Log S is equal to log C plus Z log A. Okay, that's what is about the patterns of biodiversity. Latitudinal difference, altitudinal difference, difference according to the explored area. These are the patterns shown by what? Our biodiversity. Okay, any more doubt means we discuss in the live session. I think it's clear, and we can wind up for today. Thank you.